All right, so I'm going to try to mix this one up a little bit. And so I've got the sign conventions and the ray diagrams down here. And now we're going to talk about a concave thin lens. In particular, this is a biconcave, and it's assumed that these are spherical surfaces. All right, so all of our equations are the same. And what I've done here is I've drawn a 30 centimeter object. And what I'd like you to do is pause the video and try to think about the signs of everything based off these conventions instead of me telling them to you. So I want you to pause the video and see if you could use this diagram. These are every 10 centimeters here, and see if you could fill in what DO is, what F is, and think about these radii, should they be positive or negative. Pause the video right now and think about that. I'm coming back with the answers in 1, 2, 3. Here we go. All right, so in this case, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. This is on the front. Whoops. I'm going to label it up here so I have room. This is the front side, and this is the back side of the lens. All right. And then D object is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 centimeters. Think about the signs. So on the front side, it's positive, we're done. Focal length. Let's think about these radii. Maybe we should start there. Radius is positive in back for a lens. Okay, so in this case, R1 is negative because R1 is on the front side, R2 is on the back side, so R2 would be positive, R1 would be negative. What does that do to the focal length? What did I say? R2 is positive, R1 is negative. Negative, negative, everything else, assuming this is glass in air, we would get a negative focal length. All right, so in this case, I guess you have no way of figuring out the number for it, but the sign of it was negative. So let's assume, and I apologize if you were struggling trying to figure out that number. That was just crazy of me. But I did want you to think about the sign. That was what I was really focused on. Okay, so now we've got our D0, the D object, H object, and our focal length is negative. I remember it this way. Fat in the middle, positive focal length lens. Skinny in the middle, negative focal length lens. All right, that's these ones. You can see the edge of my glasses are really fat compared to the middle. So this must be a negative focal length lens. You can tell if I'm nearsighted or farsighted. All right, Google it. All right. Now, I want you to try and draw the ray diagram. Just get out some scratch paper and try to draw it. Pause the video and use these ideas. See if you can do it. And remember, it's going to be a little bit weird. You may need some back extensions. Pause the video and try it right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you. Let's see, ray, what do we got? Ray 1. Okay, the first thing I would do is ignore this thing and just kind of go to this dotted line right through the middle. So I don't want to use the surface of the glass. I want to use this imaginary, infinitely thin lens that somehow has this curvature, which you can actually make with a Fresnel lens if you read about it. All right, so I'm going to, whoops, I need blue. I'm going to go in parallel. That's ray 1. In parallel. Out through what? The focal point. Well, I better draw these on here, right? So the focal points are 30 centimeters away. 1, 2, 3. There's one focal point. Whoops. Let's use black. There's one focal point. And then 10, 20, 30. Here's the other focal point. All right. So now this one's pretty tricky. I want to go in parallel and out through the focal point. It's a negative focal point. it's not going to be this one. I have to use that one. Think about this. If this was a prism, this would be bent that way, right? You're bent away from the point of the prism if you come in parallel. So this one's going to go up this way, like that. Think, what do you back extend? You back extend the output. Okay, back extend the output. Next, ray 2. Okay, so if you screwed up that one, why don't you pause the video now and try to do ray 2 and see if you get ray 2 right. Pause it. I'm going in 1, 2, 3, here we go. I'm coming in through the focal point and out parallel. Well, I have to use the other focal point. So I'm going to come in this way. And then, remember, it's as if it's going to that focal point, and it will come out parallel. Back extend the input or output. Back extend the output. You can already see. Think, is that a real or virtual image? We're going to get an image right here. Think, is it real or virtual? Pause the video. I'll give you the answer in 3, 2, 1. This is a virtual image. The image is on the front side of the lens. The front side of the lens corresponds to a negative image distance. DI would be positive here. DI is negative on the front side. And then remember, you get a virtual image if the image distance is negative. So I hope this is starting, this is complicated. There's some things that are the same and some things that are not. And so hopefully I'm trying to emphasize the things that are always the same here and different, and I hope that's sticking for you. So we expect the images right here. Let's do our third ray to confirm. We saw that last time. That was pretty useful. All right, so ray right through the center. You could pause the video and try it yourself. 3, 2, 1, here I go. This one's easy. Stick it right through there. This one turned out pretty well. So we see the image is here. As usual, if you want to check this, you could plug in these numbers and calculate it and see if they match the ray diagram. So from the ray diagram, let's see, what is D image and what is height of the image? So think to yourself, are these going to be positive or negative? I guess we already talked about this one. This one's negative. Looks like it's about -8 or something. I don't want to think. I'm going to just measure it. Oh, whoops, -18. And then what's the height of the image? Think, is it positive or negative? It's positive. I got about 10 or 11 or something. I don't know, that's pretty close. I got about 10.5 centimeters, let's say. And that's positive. It's positive because it's on the same side of the optic axis as the object. So there's my image. All right, and I happen to know, I think the answers I got, I think, -18.75, and I got 11.25 when I did the math here. So you could check and see if you get those numbers as well.